Hello, everyone. Welcome to Creativity-Hive's weekly show. We help creative to learn to make impactful storytelling videos through one-on-one teaching and live group coaching. My name is Miriam Haugen. I'm part of the Creativity-Hive team. And our weekly hangout most often is centered around people working in some kind of motion media, but we also know that many of us are working our entrepreneurs are working in small businesses. We are our own businesses. So today we have someone that is also an entrepreneur and working in a small business. And we're just going to have a conversation about what it takes to be successful, I guess is what I'm going to say. So I'm just going to bring Rudy on. Hi, Rudy.
Hey, Miriam, great to be here.
So you are not a videographer.
No, but I do like to think of myself as a creative. I do photography in my spare time as a hobby, although everybody keeps telling me I should monetize it in some form. And I'm like, yeah, I'll do that eventually.
Maybe, yeah, maybe. It's a tough way to make a living, but
Right.
um, but yeah, like no worries.
It's a passion and a love for me. What can I say?
Right, right. So tell us a little bit about your history, and particularly um, in I'm interested in your work history, honestly.
Oh, definitely. It's been an interesting one. I'll tell you that. I was very entrepreneurial when I was younger. I feel like I started my entrepreneurial journey back when I was probably 8 or 10 years old. I was selling flowers, and I undercut the whole town by like $1 a bouquet. It was great. I got all the customers. Um, but
But
eventually,
how did you sell flowers? Were you on the street corner
yep, I
flowers?
was like right on the street corner, like right out there. Yeah, I was
Okay.
selling flowers on the street corner and the countryside, of course. And selling for $3 and $4 a bouquet. And if you wanted that extra vase, it'd be 50 cents or $1 if it was a nice vase. I'd get it for a quarter at the thrift stores. Yay, profit margins. So
Okay.
I make like $30 a week, and
Hey, that's
I
a
was
lot of money
collecting.
when you're a kid.
It was, and I was collecting coins. So I'd go to the store and I'd buy, I'd see some silver dollars like this beauty. I'd buy them for $7 a piece, and I'd buy four of those a week, or I'd save up and get something more expensive. And I was kind of in that world for quite a long time. And then I started off my real working life. I started off at a grocery store. I think like everybody does almost. And I went to pumping gas after that because I'm a car guy. I figured that was kind of fun
Yeah.
in the summertime. We would always have tourists with nice cars. The most expensive car I filled up was a Rolls Royce. That was lovely. Um, but I kind of was becoming a bit more social because I was rather antisocial when I was younger. I was a wallflower in high school. Although I will share a funny story at the Halloween dance because a little bit after Halloween.
Yeah.
I was standing around. I had a drink. I had a drink in my hand. I was all like quiet. This beautiful girl comes up to me. She grabs a drink out of my hand, puts it on the table, and she grabs me. I'm like, ah! And then we start dancing. I'm like, this is happening. And it was the coolest thing. So like,
This is what you were
shying me.
14, 15. How old
It
were
was
you?
15. Yes, and I was terrified, and it was amazing. Um, I miss her, but I found that I was kind of enjoying people in my new-ish working life, but I wasn't making the money I wanted. I was kind of mad when I looked at my tax returns one year. I made nothing almost. I'm like, this is not nice. I want to make more money because I want to do things in life. And so I got into cell phone sales, and I really enjoyed that. And it kind of broke me out of my shell a little bit. And I started noticing that, wow, I really like helping people. And I noticed I had a bit of a talent at it because I was making pretty good money. And as I got better and better at it, I started making really good money. I said, this is pretty good. This is fun. And I had a manager I had two managers. One of them let me get away with things. The second one was a total, for lack of a better term, he was a hard ass, which was
Mhm.
great because he pushed me. And I'm
Right.
so glad that he did because he gave me confidence in myself. And I'll never forget one day he asked me, he's like, hey, Rudy, have you ever thought about being a manager? I'm just like, what? Me? Really? He's like, yeah, I think you're management material. I'm like, dude,
Really?
wow, thank you. This is coming from a guy who was in the industry for 10 years. I'm like, wow, dude, thank you. Maybe. Maybe.
That's a whole different skill set, I would
That
think.
is a whole different skill set in the cell phone sales world. very, very different things. And of course, I didn't say yes immediately because I was like, this guy thinks I'm pretty good. Oh, that's just really cool. And but it kind of got me thinking. But I ended up getting really good at helping business owners with communication solutions, like getting their phones set up, getting them new accounts, setting them new phones. Did make good money at that. But it's interesting. That was easy for me to do. But something as simple as making 10 sales calls was like trying to pull my own teeth. And I'm going to explain a little bit of that in a second, because this is very much a part of my professional journey. Is I have ADHD and autism, and I was diagnosed when I was 7. And what that ended up meaning for me, because it's a little bit different for everybody, is I have a dopamine deficiency in my brain, which basically means that things that are boring are very difficult to do. Things that are exciting and stimulating are very easy to do. So it's kind of the polar opposite that most people deal with. So that was a big part of my journey in my entrepreneurial world and in my whole professional life as a whole. But what I ended up realizing was that it affected more facets of my life than I ever knew. And shout out to a very dear friend whom she basically saved my life. She explained all of this to me. When I started my entrepreneurial journey, when I lost my dream job, which was after cell phone sales, I was in auto sales, because the owner's son of the Ford dealership in town came in once, and I helped him with his phone, but I de-escalated a very irate customer earlier, and he said, I really appreciate what you did for that customer, and thank you for helping me with my phone. You should come talk to us. And I'm like, okay, sure, why not? And what happened there is I said, I'm really comfortable and cushy with the money I'm making right now, so I'm going to need some money to make this make sense. And I wrote down on a Post-it note what I wanted per month. I slid it across the desk and said, this is what I need per month. And I said, okay. I named my price. And that was very validating for someone who never had much validation in his life or self-confidence. Didn't have much either one of those. Mm-hmm. And I got both of them. And so, yeah, fast forward, I lost my dream job due to the pandemic, and I jumped into networking events, and I ended up meeting some really cool people. I learned about a lot of different industries. I learned a lot about myself in the process. And I met a woman, and she told me she teaches people how money works. And I was like, well, that's very different than everything else I've heard. It's not MLM, it's not crypto, it's not health and wellness. We would talk. I'm interested because it's intriguing. And what ended up happening is, besides the fact that she introduced me to a wonderful business, what ended up happening is she taught me about me. She knew me a week, and she knew me better than I knew me. I'm thinking to myself, like, what is going on? How does this woman know me so well? We've talked a week. How does she know me? And she explained my life to me. And it was the most transformative thing I've ever experienced, because I could understand who I was. And I realized that I wasn't broken, that I wasn't, defective, that I didn't need fixing, that I was just me. And I could be me. And so fast forward a little bit more, due to a little bit of a chemical adjustment in my brain, I realized I could actually be me and be who you guys are seeing right now, this guy.
Yeah.
And now here I am. Here I am. Really.
So there are many things about this that are interesting to me. First of all, oh God, where do I start? The autism I don't associate with somebody being really great at sales, but the ADHD, I think I do. I don't know. How did you find that you were perhaps a little less self-conscious, maybe, than I hate this, but saying neurotypical person might be?
It's interesting, because I realized how much I like people. Mm-hmm. It made the connection easier. But then sometimes, one thing that really helped me in my sales careers was both my managers, we did weekly role playing. So, hey, I'm a customer. I'll be a tough as nails, no BS type customer. Or I'll be a super I'll lay down and buy anything you sell me. but like I'm gonna challenge you too. So we did a lot of role playing back and forth every Friday. I feel like it was every Friday. So learning in a way that made sense because I'm a nerd. I played Magic the Gathering and Dungeons and Dragons when I was a kid, and so that was a methodology that I understood. Like, oh, I get that. I can connect the dots. Oh, role playing. Okay, so I have to talk to this person in a way that because they're going to talk to me a certain way. So I need to not convince them, but I mean, kind of in a way, that's kind of what sales is, right? It's like you
Uh-huh.
want to convince them that they need a particular item. So it's like, okay, how can I role play my way through this? And it allowed me to kind of reframe what I was doing and be more confident with what I was saying. Because I think it stemmed from a lack of confidence in what I was saying or confidence in myself. But thankfully, I was able to bring that out and be a lot more confident. Hey, tell me about you. How long have you done that for? Oh, you own a business? That's amazing. Tell me more about that. Be more engaging because I can come from a place of confidence. Hey, let's check something out. Hey, I can get you a new phone. It's only going to be this much more. Let me get that started for you. And before you know it, I got your phone unboxed and I'm already turning the thing on and I already set you up halfway already. And we're already in this thing. By the way, you're going to love this new phone. Check out this camera.
Yeah.
And it took some time. It did.
Right.
And I had to really discover myself and really who I was.
Yeah. Life is a journey that way. So you went then from to that to selling cars, a little bit bigger, just a little bit bigger a price tag.
A little
And
bit.
uh, and now, okay, so tell us how money works.
Well, we're not taught
That's
about it.
that's
Let's
what
start
you
there.
now is
We'll
telling
start
people how
there.
money works.
Yeah, we're not taught about it. We'll start right there. It's a travesty and a crime that we're not taught about money. Here's the thing. It's not that hard. It's not the Wall Street stuff. That's part of money, but that's not the average everyday American. Let's talk about budgets. What does your budget look like? Do you know what you're spending money on? What is your relationship to money? Are you a saver? Are you frugal? Are you a spender? Do you kind of like, oh, I see that thing, I'm going to buy it? P.S. I was both. I once bought a car without telling my girlfriend. Do not do that. Um, Thankfully, she didn't kill me. I'm really happy about that because I could be here talking to you. Yay. But, it really starts with relationships because relationships as a whole are extremely important in society. But what we don't talk about is the relationship we have to money. Do we buy things on emotion? Or do I buy things on need? Like I was buying coffee every single day because it helped me focus because I could function just a little bit better because I had my 3 or 4 shots of espresso in a day. There was 600 calories and 100 grams of sugar, and the baristas knew me by name. Rudy, we made you your coffee. Oh, yay, thank you. That's exactly what I wanted, even though I didn't actually order yet. They're like, they already had my coffee for me. Here's $7. It was so easy. Oh, it's only $7. Okay, well, how many times are you getting coffee a day? Oh, every day. Okay, that's
Hey,
30
and you
times. That's
multiply that times what, 30?
30 times. Yeah, $7 times 30 days is $210 a month. That's somebody's electric bill. That's a car payment if you're lucky. Not now because interest rates are stupid, but that's a nice chunk of change for somebody. They might not notice that. All the little subscriptions, the Netflix, the Hulu, the Roku, the Amazon Prime, all those little things are, they might buy a lot of books or, they might buy a lot of little things like those video games with the microtransactions, they'll kill you. But giving people the awareness of what they're actually spending their money on and then talking to them about concepts like an emergency fund. Unfortunately, a lot of Americans can't handle even a $400 emergency.
Yeah.
But the problem is we're not taught about that type of thinking. We're not taught about, okay, you're going into college, right? You have to budget for your dorm. You have to budget for your books if you're paying for those. You have to budget for your food. You have to budget for an emergency fund in case your car breaks down. Oh, you have to budget for your car too. Don't forget car insurance. It's going to be stupid. You have to budget for all these things. But the problem is, hey, congratulations, you graduated high school. Here's a 6-figure loan. Here's a bunch of credit cards. Off you go.
Credit cards, yeah.
Good luck.
The fact that hopefully they're not as bad about it now as they used to be, but they were just like trying to give every college student a credit card. College students shouldn't have credit cards. They really should.
No, it's it's a double-edged sword if you use them correctly and you build good credit by using them correctly. Emphasis on using them correctly, please. That does not include buying beer for parties. Then that will serve you in the future. Pay them off every month. You carry zero. Or better, you keep your utilization at least below 30% at least, but preferably below 10, or just not at all. That'd be nice. Pay for your electric bill with a credit card. Pay it off at the end of every month. Maybe get some points. That'd be kind of cool. Amex is a good rewards program. But like that type of stuff, we don't teach. We don't talk about the emotional aspect of money. We just talk about the dollars and cents, which is important, but we don't even talk about that even.
So okay, how do you work with small businesses? Because you talk about budgeting, and that was so tough for me always to look at, because did I know how much money I was going to make next month? Not really. I could guess. I had educated guesses about how much money I might make next month or in 6 months, but the idea of budgeting, I mean, my budgeting was usually just don't spend any money because you probably won't have it. But
I mean, it's for the small business owner, it's not much different. It's taking inventory and taking stock of what you're making and what you're spending. It's just on a slightly bigger scale. It's a lot of the same principles apply. Do you have an emergency fund for you? Do you have an emergency fund for your business? So in case you don't make any money, how long can your business run for? It's not that much different, I think, from my experience. It's not been a ton, because I'm still fairly new into delving into the small business world as far as what we can do for them. But it's one of those that it's the conversations of, where's the money going? How is it being treated? Did you set up your retirement yet? Even that conversation, like, because business owners, you're responsible for yourself. If you have employees, your payroll, their retirement, your retirement, everybody else's stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, I worry because, again, we don't teach people how to become business owners either. There's that issue. That's another discussion. But it's just all these little elements. And also making sure that a business owner's personal finances are sorted too.
Right.
If their personal finances aren't sorted, I would be concerned that the business finance is okay.
Yeah.
If one's not right, it might just bleed into the other one. And I would start there. How are they personally managing their money? Because those habits might lead to how they manage their business money too.
That's very true. Our something that I think many small business people deal with is that they have lots of write-offs. At least this certainly was true for Neil and I. Lots of write-offs, and so therefore we showed very little income as far as our tax returns went, and which was good. It meant that we were giving less money to Uncle Sam, and we were able to hold on to what little we did make. But then it also has a bearing on your Social Security later. So you really need to have that money set aside and not be relying on Social Security because, hey, didn't show a lot of income.
I worry about them. Am I going to get it? I'm 37. Is it going to be around?
Right.
I worry about that, but I would rather tell people, hey, just in case it's not there, just in case.
Yeah. You don't
make sure there's other ways to get you to your goals, and that's the thing. I mean, okay, you can put money in the bank. You might get 1%. You can probably get 0.25% or less. That's not going to keep up with inflation. Sorry. You can put it in a high yield savings account. That might get you 4 or 5%. But, here's the thing. What are you doing with your money? Is it sitting there? Is it in the market? Is it doing this? That's one thing I'm focusing on right now with the baby boomer generation is I want to make sure that their retirement accounts are not doing this, because they don't have the time necessarily to recover if the market does this.
Right.
To get back to where they were, it could be 8 or 10 years.
Yeah.
Let's make sure if that does happen that you won't have to worry about coming back from getting thrown off a horse. And, talking about, safe money solutions, all the products and services that are out there that can help somebody set up a retirement, even in a tax advantaged way, among other things that they can do, besides just stuffing money under a mattress, showing them the options they have. That's a big thing, because a lot of people don't know. I didn't even know half of the stuff I could do. And I'm like, well, why was I not told about these things? Like, I feel like I should have been taught about this stuff. Also, I feel like I should have been taught how to balance a checkbook, among other things. So why wasn't I taught? And it all goes back to that. It all goes back to we weren't taught. It was on purpose. I'm going to be controversial. It is on purpose.
It's on purpose that we weren't taught about money?
I really think so. I really do.
Okay,
it's not hard.
Don't get that. I don't get that. Explain that.
I will explain what I feel. Because I think that if everybody knew how money works, everyone would become either entrepreneurs or they wouldn't put money in the bank because it's not going to do anything. The banks are making money with your money. They're not holding it on to have the kindness of their hearts. They're making more than they're giving you. And I really feel in my heart that if people were more independent with their money, they would become more entrepreneurial. Like, oh, wow, so if I have a business instead of just working for somebody else, I can write stuff off. What is that? Oh, I could work for myself. I could set my own schedule. I would have to put in the work. But, look, I could be independent now.
Yeah, you're preaching to the choir. I love that. All that you're
right. So I really think that.
But I've discovered not everybody is.
True. This is very true.
There's uncertainty that goes along with that.
100%. In fact, I have a saying
that you're going to handle that uncertainty.
Yes, and in fact, I'm gonna segue from that conversation into a saying I have, and this is very true. That being in a 9-to-5 is being on a carousel. It's comfortable. It's predictable. You know where you're going most of the time. There's just not a lot of fear, and it's pretty fun. It's nice. And don't get me wrong, I'm not knocking 9-to-5. If somebody's for a 9-to-5, do that. But I just want people to know there's more than one way. So I'm going to preface with this. But entrepreneurship, on the other hand, is like a roller coaster. Yes. It is exciting. It is terrifying. It feels like you're on top of the world. It feels like you're going to die. You might want to barf all along the way. But you get a very fulfilling experience. And you might just get hooked on it, and you might want to do it more than once.
Okay, so with ADHD, didn't you say in our last conversation that there are a lot of people with ADHD that are self-employed that are
Yes, I have two pieces to that. The first, I think it was 46% of entrepreneurs have ADHD, which is a cool
46%,
topic.
Elon
Musk has it. Elon Musk has it, which is pretty cool. And I kind of see it in some of his Twitter posts. And it's like, But, so there's that. And then I also read a statistic, and I'm not 100% sure the number, so take this with a grain of salt. It was 20-something% of ADHD people can hold a regular job. And when I first read that, I was sad. I was like, oh, that's terrible. Oh, no. But then I thought about that for a second. I'm like, wait a minute. Hold on. That's not bad. And here's why. I just realized that means 28%. I think it was 28%, 27%. The rest of us, the 70-some% of ADHD people that can't hold a regular job, we're creatives. We're entrepreneurs. We're doing our own thing. We're doing this stuff. We're running our own life and our own circle. And that's the thing. Like for me, it's like I did enjoy my 9-to-5 work, and I had wonderful managers and I had wonderful people that really helped me grow and give me the confidence to do what I'm doing right now. But I wanted to do something so much more impactful, and honestly, I wanted to make more money even, because I want to do a lot of philanthropy. I want to give to a lot of charities. I started donating to a charity this month, actually, because I was able to do it in the way I wanted to. And I want to do more. I want to do way more than that.
Awesome.
I want to go on speaking tours and not have to worry about, costs for that, because it's not cheap to go across the country for speaking tours. I want to just be able to do that. Or, hey, if I see If I hear of a charity, I want to donate to charities all over the world. I want to do that without even thinking. Like, oh yeah, they want $1,000. Here you go. There you go. It's in the mail. You know, I want to be able to do that type of stuff. And in order to do that, well, money is required. And at the end of the day, that's a big part of it. But I want to be able to give back in a way that a 9 to 5 would never get me to do. And honestly, I would probably have to do a 9 to 5 until I die anyway, because it would never be enough to live the life I want to. Also, to not that I'm going to retire, because I'm never going to retire in the traditional sense. I will do what I do forever, but I also want to be able to have an impactful life so I can impact others around me. So it
That, that's
requires
worth,
money,
that's
honestly.
worth quoting. I want to have an impactful life so I can impact the people, those around me.
You.
That is great.
Thank you. Because, and that's true. Like, my vision is so much bigger than a 9 to 5 paycheck will ever allow me to do. Straight
Yeah.
up, it's not enough money for what I want to do in this world that I know I'm capable of doing. Again, going back to the whole self-confidence, ADHD, autism thing, I know for a fact I can do it. Like, in my heart of hearts, every single day I wake up, I said, you know what? I'm going to make something of today. I'm going to do something awesome. I met some incredible people today. We just jived. I was in networking events. I'm like, yes, that thing. We need to talk. We're going to connect today on LinkedIn. Let's do that. You know, and it's just like, I wake up with such purpose and such fulfillment. And I want and this is why I think entrepreneurship is so beautiful and why it's also so hard to be brave enough to look within yourself, to take a chance on yourself, to bet on yourself that, you know, I don't need that stuff over there. I'm going to do this on my own. Or I wouldn't say do it on your own. I would say find somebody to help you, like a mentor, especially. I have a very dear mentor of mine whom I cherish so much because she helps me not only develop myself as a professional, but develop myself as a person and as a leader. So so definitely have somebody in your corner if you're going to ride the roller coaster of entrepreneurship. Have somebody to ride with you, so if you barf, you can barf together. But that's a big part of it, though, like having somebody in your corner that can be there for you along on the journey, so you're not screaming alone at least.
Yeah.
But it really helps you find yourself. I've always kind of had a saying that entrepreneurship is a personal development course you get paid to take.
Say that again.
Entrepreneurship is a personal development course you get paid to take.
Uh-huh. Very cool. You cannot just stay stuck in your old self. You have to grow,
Mm.
or else, and those that don't, well, they sometimes end up going back to the 9 to 5 because they just can't hack it.
And it's hard. I'm not one to sugarcoat anything. It is not easy. It is terrifying. It is frustrating. It is. I mean, I had moments where I was crying my eyes out because I didn't know what the heck I was going to do. I had those moments.
Because you got bills, and you're
Yeah.
going, oh my gosh, I don't have the money to pay.
Basically, I mean, yes, I've had those, but I said to myself, Rudy, you've invested too much of your heart and soul into this to stop. Period. You have poured your heart into this more than you've done anything else in your whole life. You owe it to yourself to keep going, because then you'll be able to give back to the world in the way you've always wanted to. So there's that. So don't stop. Dust yourself off and keep moving forward. And that was not easy for me at all.
Right.
But I'm very blessed because I mean, okay, there's an element of stubbornness to it too. I'll tell you guys right now, I'm a bit stubborn. But I utilize that in a way that's positive. I utilize that in a way of saying, you know, you're not going to let anything catch up. You're gonna push through it. If you fall off the horse, you're gonna get right back on and say, nope, we're still going that direction. Period. Dust the boots off. Let's keep going. And I think that's what's needed in entrepreneurship is almost an innate level of stubborn. My friend Sajad, he says, be stubborn but not stupid stubborn. And I'm like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that is great. Well, this has been awesome, Rudy. I hope it was interesting to our audience that because we strayed a little bit farther from our typical videographer and motion media and sometimes getting geeky about video post-production. But this, I think this really applies to all of us. How do we keep on going when life kicks us? And yeah, that is great. I encourage everyone, how should they connect with you if they want to connect?
I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Alignable. I'm on Instagram, but not as much. Probably I just put my photography up there, some of it. But primarily LinkedIn and Facebook. My name there.
Yes, I like that. Yes, connect
Yeah.
with them on LinkedIn. I think that's a great platform for connecting with people.
I agree.
Honestly, that's where we were doing most of our communication was on LinkedIn. So it is great. Thank you so much. Let's say goodbye.
Very welcome. Take care, guys.
Don't leave after the credits here.
All right, cool. Take care, guys.